Having fun.
Hold up!
I know you. You're that annoying druid who flaunts his sexuality in all his
Another
videos.
day.
Sorry, did I misgender you, man?
Are you okay?
Serious. Trust me, I know that.
Flash up confusedly.
Listen!
Oops, that's a miss.
Go figure, man. Using bad teams and acting gay doesn't make your videos interesting. Is the confusion on Mr.Rime supposed to be you with your pronouns?
What's wrong with y'all at home? What makes y'all be so negative?
Don't touch me there. Swallow my cum.
Swallow!
No ma'am. No ma'am.
Baby, your pussy dead. What the dog doing?
Open up the safe, bitches got a lot to say.
Are you trying to address me?
Protect.
Miss me with that gay shit! Damn, he's there!
Oh, now we gotta go?
Why are you on me?
Look over there. Look over there. Look over there.
I am Confucian.
That time.
Your ass is grass! Wipe your ass off!
Screw you guys, I'm going home. I almost feel bad for playing her, but I don't.
Intimidate.
Hurricane Katrina!
Intimidate.
It's sleep powder.
That turns me on.
hopefully you guys enjoyed the Showdown results. I know I had a lot of fun experimenting with this Tangled Feet Mr.Rime. Before I go over the team, I just want to mention that I don't think this team is very viable. I don't think it's good for climbing the ladder. I don't think it'll win a tournament. I don't even think it's viable in general. I wasn't even going to make this into a video, but then I got that salt and I couldn't let that content go to waste because that's why like 90% of you are subscribed to me.
So true.
It's true.
Anyway, I want to make a team around the Tangled Feet ability. Now what this ability does is it doubles your evasion as long as you're confused. Now most of y'all are thinking, that ability is absolutely trash. You need to be confused for your ability to even do anything. I'll go back confused raid me and I hit myself 4 times in a row. Trash. But hear me out. In Sun and Moon they actually nerfed confusion. The chance to hit yourself in confusion was lowered from 50% down to 33%. Which helped an ability that requires you to be confused for it to actually do anything. So confusion isn't as bad as you remember it being as a child, but what is just as annoying is evasion, and doubling your evasion is the equivalent of not 1, not 2, but 3 whole double teams. And both casual and competitive players alike know just how aggravating evasion could be to fight against. So item on Mr.Rime, I originally ran Bright Powder just for that extra little chance to dodge, but I decided that you also have a slight chance of missing one of your confusion-inducing attacks that you have on the team, so I decided to get rid of it for Figgy Berry. Now I didn't use Figgy Berry in this video, but Figgy Berry is actually really good. What Figgy Berry does, it heals 33% of your max HP, and it confuses you if you have a minus attack nature. This is the important part, because it has great synergy with Tangled Feet, because you can self-induce confusion and normally want to avoid this, but because Mr.Rime wants to be confused, this is the one exception to the rule where you can actually use the wrong berry and it actually benefits you. And this is like the only way you can make a Tangled Feet Mr.Rime work in singles. Now Mr.Rime's set is pretty straightforward. Expanding Force, Freeze Dry, Dual Stab. Freeze Dry hits stuff like Kyogre and Pelipper that screw over Groudon, and just water and grass types in general. Nasty Plot and Sub are meant to be used with the free turns you get when you potentially dodge an attack or two with the Tangled Feet evasion. Now Mr.Rime is supported by this Tapu Lele right here. Now this Tapu Lele set is absolutely demonic. Y'all are probably like roasting me in the comments already, but hear me out. I originally had Indeedee female on this team just so I had like an easier way to set up Trick Room and set up with Groudon and Mr.Rime, but I decided to replace it with Tapu Lele just because Tapu Lele puts on a little more offensive pressure, even without Expanding Force, and Ally Switch can be used similarly to Follow Me. Not to mention, if the confusion and the evasion doesn't tilt the opponent, then Ally Switch surely will. Flatter is used to confuse Mr.Rime, so I can get a special attack boost and the evasion. Moonblast with Pixie Plate is just meant to do as much damage as possible to stuff that like Psychic is immune to, like Incineroar. Now Lilligant is on this team to synergize with the Groudon, of course. Also has Teeter Dance, which confuses everything on the field, which is really huge when you want to confuse Mr.Rime. You also confuse the opposing team, so that's even more chances for both Lilligant and Mr.Rime to just avoid attacks and just tilt the opponent. So that's really nice with Teeter Dance. Sleep Powder, of course, just to tilt the opponent even more, put them to sleep. Grass Knot is good to snipe Groudons and Kyogres. Do note that Dynamax is returning and Grass Knot will not work versus D-Max Pokemon. In fact, Max moves actually ignore evasion in general, so I just don't recommend using this team in a Dynamax format. And then After You is meant to be used with the Groudon. Now, Drought with the Chlorophyll of course gives Lilligant a bunch of speed, so it can After You Groudon and it can move immediately after Lilligant, and bypass Groudon's pretty middling speed. Now Groudon's set is very standard. This spread, you might be thinking, finally a spread that's on 252, 252, Weedle's so clever. But I just stole this off the Ecolytics. I threw this team together in like 5 minutes, like I really didn't put much thought into it. But yes, Heat Crush, Press Displays, Protect, Sword Stance, very standard on Groudon. Lumberry is nice, it works well with Teeter Dance, so Groudon could just snap out of confusion. It's also good versus a Moongus that like to spore you, or stuff that likes to burn you with Will-O-Wisp or Scald, so that's really nice for Groudon. Next we have Chandelure, which is on this team for a few reasons. The first reason is to check Calyrex and Zacian. If they have Substitute, Infiltrator allows you to ignore the Substitute, which works for Mr.Rime as well, because I pulled it off in the first battle where I was able to confuse right through Substitute. You can't do unless you have Infiltrator, so of course we have Dual Stab, and then we have Trick Room just because Mr.Rime and Groudon are like middle speed Pokemon, so we want Trick Room. Last Pokemon we have is Braviary. Now Braviary is on this team just so I had Tailwind, and just a way to deter Incineroar just because Mr.Rime does not like fighting Incineroar. Brave Bird and Close Combat are just nice moves to have in Braviary. Tailwind and Whirlwind. I want Speed Control of course because we do have middle speed tiers like Mr.Rime's base 70, Groudon's base 90, and you know, Tapu Lele's base 95. So I just want to have like, you know, Tailwind, the option for Tailwind and Trick Room, and then Whirlwind helps versus opposing Trick Room and setup. Unfortunately, Braviary didn't get to do much in this video, but I do have a video where Braviary pops off with a big brain Venom Gen strategy, so feel free to check out that video if you have some time. But that is the team. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to leave a like on the video. If you have any questions or concerns or feedback, I read all of my comments, so definitely feel free to leave a comment if you have something to say. Maybe subscribe and share the video with a friend who might enjoy it as well. Help the channel grow. Anyways, that'll do it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll check you guys in my next video.